This game has some high standards. They want you to destroy a lot of enemies. Alright, that's alright. That's alright, we're still doing good. Let's have a duel in the desert. Alright, so waves of enemies are attacking from the desert. The assault can be expected. We build up barricades, but you have to go on the offensive. Go Zero, go! Their main troops are approaching. Zero, please take care of them. So this would actually be a good way to start leveling up some other weapons if I wanted to. That said, they'll fix what ain't broken. Damn camo! Why are you so cool? Ha! Didn't give me that time. Ooh, side breath. Thank you. Ah, the music for this mission is like so like high energy. Oh, another side bro. Thank you. Going for it. Ah, so good. So good. So in the Japanese version of this, when you slice through the Pantheon warriors, it's actually supposed to have like a lot of like blood, like kind of like, well, I say blood, robot juice, like cut spray out of them, just for dramatic effect, of course. But yeah, no, that was super censored out of the English versions. Yeah, hopping right out of the chopper. Third Guardian, Fafnir. Quite literally the hothead of the group. But I really like his design. The two like buster arm things he has for guns and like for punching. Ah, it's so cool. Let's see. All right. Oop. I could get under him there. Oh no! Yep, you don't want to get grabbed by him. Oh, cool, we get to see his the super attack. Oh, he loves the thrill of a good fight. The difference where the Muto Reploids get destroyed, but the Guardians, like, escape. Just a little touch there, but I like that. It's like, oh, the fight was tough, but they know when to get out. Yep, Zero wiped out all of the enemies. Alright, we have one more mission to go, and then we can go into the end game. It's not that really long of a game whenever you kind of know how to do it, which is a shame. But it's also good for the sake of anyone watching. I will accept. Alright, so for this mission I'll be going back to the prison base, the hidden base. And we'll be going into that room that I couldn't go into before. So first thing first, let's go through all these guys again. And hop on through. And remember, wonder, is there anything on this wall? Nope, okay. Would have been silly. There's just a secret wall there the whole time, and I just never knew about it. Alright, and now we're back, but oh no, it's no longer frozen. Now we got the water stage. Oh, well, don't want that one. I'll take that one though. You gotta watch out in this part though. That boat can and will squish you. Thank you for the cyber elf. Oh, and I'll take that one too. Alright, how are we looking? Nope. Oh, I did that like such a cool guy. I'm so happy how well that went. By the way, cyber elf. Missiles! Oh, no, the missiles didn't come. Haha. Oh, I forgot. Was there something up there I need to get? So what's crazy about this game is, and this was fixed on the DS version, is because sometimes there'd be too much going on the screen at the same time. There'd be some massive like frame rate hiccups. So if you ever see stuttering, 50-50, oh, take that one up. That it could be just the Wii U emulation being fairly spot on. The cyber elves, they're not really quite wisps. So wisps, they're like you know, they're aliens, they're their own being. What cyber elves are, they're like a new type of existence that came into effect after the Maverick Wars. And what they are is kind of when a Reploid dies, the leftover consciousness, if it's not even really like super explained well, but I guess if enough energy is like had, it actually kind of fuses like with like the, I guess, code of its soul, and it becomes like a new being. So every like cyber elf that we see was actually once a, oh wow, this is super annoying. Thank you. Was actually at one point like a Reploid. And they don't actually go into it until, I think, it might have actually been at one of the audio dramas, because Megaman Zero has a lot of like extra like side stuff that's not really in the games. But their functions do work like wisps. How there are some that are good at different like jobs. There's like your healing types. I can actually go back now that I actually have more of them here. Your animal types and your hacker types. So your hacker types, oops, wrong button. They do different things as far as like affecting the area around them. So this one can slow down time. This one, enemies will drop more items. Let's see, enemies get stunned. This one actually reduces like a boss's energy, so he actually like deals damage to the enemy life bar. So for these guys, this one actually increases your speed like permanently, like for the rest of the game. This one boosts defense. This one makes you climb faster. And then you have other ones here where it eats bullets. Let's see, that bird will get you out of a pit, kind of like Beat from Megaman. They are super cute. But these are your main ones. So your nurse ones, like these girls, can become sub-tanks. You don't actually find sub-tanks here. You have to actually raise the cyber elf and use its ability to be able to get the sub-tank. This one here, she doubles your vitality, which basically gives you like another life bar. And these ones actually increase your vitality slightly. But cyber elves by themselves just can't be used. The bigger ones that have the better abilities, you have to feed them energy crystals, and they can use a lot of energy crystals. Right now I have 606. To get a single sub-tank, I believe you need 1,250 E-crystals to get one sub-tank. And also, after you use that Cyber Elf, it's gone for good, because when a Cyber Elf uses its energy, it actually like fades away. So I don't actually have to go this way for the sake of the actual like mission, but this is the only chance I think you can actually like re-get these or get these like particular Cyber Elves. And like I said, I've never actually gotten all of them, but I do like to get as many as I can, just because it makes me feel like a cool guy. So here we get to the main server room. This is where all the hacking gets done. These are your hacking machines, which kind of look like the at the beginning of X2, the little like monitor they're looking at stuff. All right, so whenever you break one of these, it makes like a little like item pop up. If you don't break it like on the center and the talking happens, you can actually like miss your chance to grab the item. So those were energy tanks. These are 1-ups. These are Cyber Elf. Alright, and hacking is done. That's how you stop hacking. You just cut all the swords. Surprise! Oh, hello. Alright, and that should be everything we need there. Oh, last thing we need. So now that says water temple like a fire chip. Oh, massive energy reading. Alright, and here we go. Last of the Guardians. Good old Leviathan. I do appreciate that all the Guardians, even though they're all like kind of like made out of X's kind of like digital DNA and design, that they did actually make a female version, like a female girl. Where roleplays just don't get enough representation. But yeah, her weakness is fire. Even though she's in the water, she's technically ice. So... Oh. Oh no, she's doing her super special A-rank attack. It's an ice dragon! It looks really cool. Leviathan is awesome because even though she is like a girl, like, she doesn't take shit. Cyber Elf. This game is being very nice with the A ranks today. But I'll take it. So, attempt hacking the base to have ceased thanks to you. Alright, so that's actually it for all the missions. So now we begin the end game. So at this point, the resistance base has been located and the assault has begun. Basically, they're kind of screwed. Elderly and children take priority. That's right, Andrew and Alouette. Everyone else, good luck. The world's become out of control, and it's all because of Neo Arcadia. Extreme justice where peace is maintained by force. Reploid sacrifice for the happiness of humans. She who created Neo Arcadia, and it's her who regenerated X. So that's actually kind of like retconned out in later series. How long have I been playing? About an hour 30. Give or take the first 5 minutes where I had like an Elgato issue. So anyway, CL states that she's actually the one that resurrected X, but it's not the original X. Basically, she rebuilt an X, and that's the enemy that we've come. That's that's in our way. So first thing first, engine room's fallen to the enemy. We have to fix the elevator. So luckily that's easy enough. Just go down here, take out these football pantheons, and save servo. And then immediately they tell you, oh, by the way, boss is at the energy core. Which is kind of silly. I almost wish that there was more to do in this mission. So is OGX dead? No, he's not. But he's missing. And you really don't find out the majority of it until the second game as to what actually happened to X. But I'll go and give a brief synopsis of kind of like where this game kind of takes place. After I break this guy. Yeah. Alright, so after the X series and what's labeled the Maverick Wars, eventually Sigma is defeated. Alright, and what happens to everyone after is that at some point Zero disappears. And so X is left to try and like rebuild everything in that interim. And so 100 years after the wars, all of humanity is kind of like moved to Neo Arcadia, which is basically like the last like civilization that can sustain like people, because the rest of the world is wasteland and leftover Mavericks and Mechanaloids. So 100 years after Zero disappears, after the Maverick Wars ended, after a certain event happens, X disappears, and so Neo Arcadia is left without a ruler. And then the energy crisis happens. And since really no one was sure what to do in that situation, CL rebuilds X based off of his previous like data, his schematics, the core, the digital DNA that was used to make the 4 Guardians. Basically tries to like clone X and says, hey, here, you are X, the hero, the savior of humanity, you know, the true, you know, the best Reploid. Help us in our time of need. And so what we'll call him Copy X decides to do is that to save humanity in the energy crisis, the main cause of the energy deficiency should be like slowly like, you know, destroyed. And that's when he uses his regime to start labeling regular Reploids as Mavericks and basically retiring and destroying them. So kind of backfired in the end, which is really one of the main reasons why CL takes it upon herself to form the Resistance. But I've been talking a bit. This is a Hana machine. He is a assassin Metu Reploid that works for Phantom because he does all the secret like stealth unit ninja surprise stuff. He's basically like Son Goku from A Journey to the West. He has the power pole. He makes clones. He's weak to lightning. Pretty sure Goku's weak to lightning. Oh, there it is. No! Oh, crap. That fight can be a little tough. Yeah, Monkey Khan had to go. I'm glad that clear time wasn't the thing affected while I was just spouting off tons of Mega Man lore. But as long as X exists, then someday, really, peace can't happen as long as X exists. So Zero's like, alright, I'll take care of it. Directly to the core of the enemy base through the trans server, but they can't crack the code. So the trans server is what, and it's never really like fully stated, but what I always imagined that the way like teleportation works in the previous X games is that there's like a satellite or kind of like system in place that as long as like it's able to like read the geometric data, it's able to transport you there pretty much directly, which is why you can kind of explain why doesn't X just teleport in front of the boss room. It's like, well, maybe they can't because of like things blocking it. Well, since most of society is gone and everything just takes place in Neo Arcadia, the transserver serves as more of a teleportation to a specific teleporter, and serves as the function of, hey, how do you get to this place? Well, the only way you can is through this. But luckily, they're scattered. They were built with Neo Arcadia, so even if ones aren't any in use, if you could turn them on technically, you could end up anywhere. So that's what his CL is talking about, is the core of the Neo Arcadia Tower, Area X. Basically, they could sneak in if they had the codes. Now, I could imagine that Zero could just run straight to the building and carve himself out a path of destruction all the way up it. But one thing that the game takes into consideration, and to all the missions that these characters do, they don't fight where there are humans around. All the fights that take place are made away from people, so there are no chance of anyone getting hurt. So if Zero was to just march up to the front of Area X, then there could be a lot of damage. Luckily, our friend here, who's at the beginning of the game, cracks the security code for us. But now we can go to Neo Arcadia whenever we want. He's the one that gave the Z-Saber. Now, terminate that copy of me. Terminate with extreme prejudice. So if anyone was asking, is the original OG X dead? No, he's not. That's him as a cyber elf. And he's actually been helping behind the scenes this entire game. Alright, so from here we can use the transserver to go to the final area. Now I'm torn because as much as I don't want to drag this on too much, I do want to take into effect or into consideration. Let's do it. Let's do one quick tour of the overworld. Let's bid our farewells to Alouette. How you doing, girl? Oh, she was scared, but no, CL's fine. What's gonna happen to the base next? I don't want to be deported back to Neo Arcadia. So this base, they can't stay in it anymore. Now that the enemy's found out where it is, like they pretty much only have like one thing left to do, and that's to get out of Dodge. However, like I said before, in the outside, there's nothing. It is a wasteland. Oh, silly old man. As of right now, their base was under a disposal facility, which was pretty much in enemy territory, and what looks like a ruined area that's like no longer inhabitable, possibly due to the wars. What a fate for X. It gets worse and it gets better. So here we can start looking at the overworld. So the desert that we had been to multiple times, the entrance to that was just right over to the left of the base. And what's cool is you can go around here and grab some extra energy crystals. And then if you go in here, another transceiver. So let's go ahead and go back to the underground laboratory real fast. So last time we were here, place crumbled in around us. Not much we could do. However, what that did for us is we go up here. It actually unlocked a new area, which isn't much, but it does have a cyber elf. Although I've never been good at being able to make the jump to get into there, as long as you have the charge shot, you should be able to at least break the case open. But unfortunately, that's all that this area is good for anymore. If there was something you missed before you fight the elephant guy, then it's lost until a new game plus. Alright, so let's see. We've done Disposal Shrine. We did Desert. So let's go back to the Resistance base, and then we'll explore a little bit more of the overworld. Just because I really appreciate it. Oh. Give me 1 second, y'all. The Elgato decided to take a break. Give me one moment, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we should be back. So as far as I can see, that it only seems to be an issue with OBS Streamlabs, is that sometimes the Elgato will disconnect and then it won't be able to reconnect. So I actually have to close OBS Streamlabs and then reopen it to get the Elgato to be able to reconnect. So yeah, for anyone watching, that's just a hot pro tip of troubleshooting from Zarek to you. But as I was saying before, I was so really interrupted. Megaman ZX does a fantastic job of having like the entire game be connected by an overworld. And I can't remember if ZX Advent does it too. But yeah, so from the Resistance base, we found the desert, we found the disposal facility. Here we found, this was where the train was, where we took, let's see. Was I able to go in here? There we go, another cyber elf. Okay, here is, doesn't look like I can really get to it, but this was where the airport part, where we saved Kolbar. Like another like way to get back from there. Which means that here, okay, so it looks like that kind of like loops back into itself. That's neat. But then if we go up this way, we go around here. It should lead us to another train server. So we'll be using this one here in a bit. But first, I want to go ahead and finish showing that at the end of this part here, it actually takes us to the factory. And now that you've actually like saved the factory, it actually just has a whole bunch of energy crystals, just kind of like here for the taking. But it's only like this once. I think after you take them all the first time, then they don't respawn. But if you were a little short of crystals and you were wanting to, like, you know, get a cyber elf up or not, then that would be the way to do it. But yeah, you can defy fate and continue to challenge yourself with these risky jumps, all for the sake of just some extra energy crystals. You have a problem, Zero. You're addicted. Oh wait, no, that was stupid. Okay, I did it. Oh wait. So Will, you're asking if Mega Man 11 will actually connect to the X series? I think no. I think it will most definitely never ever. I don't think that Capcom will ever actually make a definitive connection to the series, because I don't think one can exist. Because what I think what it means is to actually like give a defining answer is to kind of like, you have to make a decision about what X and Zero, or what Mega Man 1 and what Zero, what Mega Man and Mega Man X are to each other. Oh, so many delicious crystals. Because I was talking about earlier how a lot of people have like the headcanon to where, you know, X is actually just Mega Man, but Mega Man made like the choice to be able to like break through his programming and possibly like take a human life or something. And although the idea is neat, I do think it doesn't do enough service that Mega Man and Zero are the same person. I think if there would be a definitive like end as to what would happen to Mega Man that caused like Light to create X in his place, then I don't think Capcom could actually like make a farewell good enough. And I think they know that. But yeah, that's about the overworld, so what we can do now is we can just go ahead straight to Neo Arcadia. And we can go ahead and begin the end game. So there is a lot of secrets in the Neo Arcadia areas that I actually don't know much about. So if there are like cyber elves and the such, I'm going to miss them. But the birds can die, because I hate the birds. Oh, that was smooth. That's also the problem. You mentioned like Capcom wouldn't want to pigeonhole themselves or anything. Like if they do make a, you know, this is the end of Mega Man game, then they can't make a Mega Man 12. And although I do think some series need to end, there is something individual about Mega Man, the original himself, that I do feel that his games feel more timeless, like Mario. Now, while series like Star Force and the Battle Network ones, like they actually do end, and I think they end well enough. I think that original Mega Man should not end. Not in the same sense that series like Star Force and this one, for instance, end, because when these ones end, when 0, 4, and Mega Man Battle Network 6 end, it feels very definitive. And the way they got there actually gives like a lot of respect to like everything that built up to it. The fan game. Oh, I think you're talking about Mega Man Universe. Yeah, they do a good little thing where they kind of like introduce like Zero's what was it? Kind of like prototype form, like alpha version. Ah.